What a great way to get started. Let's give him a hand. That's at NJROTC, Dunedin High School. Good evening again, everyone. My name is Vince Gizzi. I'm the Parks and Recreation Director for the City of Dunedin. On behalf of the city, it is my honor to welcome all of you to our Purple Heart Recognition Day. I would especially like to welcome all of the veterans and military organizations here today. America is strong and great because of you. Today is our 10th anniversary of this recognition here in Dunedin at our beautiful Purple Heart Park on the corner of Broadway and Main Street. I just want to give you a little history of where we started. In 2006, the City of Dunedin was named a Purple Heart City by the Military Order of the Purple Heart, first in the state of Florida. We celebrated the occasion on National Day of Recognition on August 7th, 2007, by planting a tree at Dunedin Veteran Memorial Park next to VFW Post 2550. A proclamation was read and the city further pledged to dedicate our own Purple Heart Monument on August 7, 2008. Again, today we celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Dunedin Purple Heart Monument and Park and are here in recognition of all our nation's Purple Heart recipients. In honor of this 10th anniversary, the Dunedin Historic Museum has donated a very special flag for this event. This flag was originally flown over the home of President George Washington out Mount Vernon, Virginia, on May 20th, 2007, Armed Forces Day, and was presented as a gift to the Dunedin Historic Museum. On August 7th, 1782, in Newburgh, New York, Commanding General of American Revolutionary Army, George Washington, created the Badge of Military Merit, or what is now known as the Purple Heart. Washington's Purple Heart was awarded to only 3 known soldiers during the Revolutionary War. Today, as the city celebrates this occasion, the Dunedin Historic Museum has given this flag to the city to be used as the official flag of Purple Heart Park. Thank you to Vinnie Luisi, our local historian. And it's flying above the tents. You can't see it from where you're sitting, but it's flying up there, and it'll remain flying up there. Now I invite you all to stand, if you're able, for the invocation given by Kerry Blette, VFW Chaplain. Please remain standing for the posting of the colors by Captain James Fasinelli and the Dunedin High School JROTC, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Mel Klingon, Commander of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, JFK, Chapter JFK 1963, followed by singing of the National Anthem by Deputy Freddie Hayes Jr., Pinellas County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you. It's an honor to be able to offer a prayer this night. As I thought about and prayed about what I should offer, 3 things came to mind. And if you would, in your heart, join me as I offer this prayer. Our Lord and God, Father, first we ask for your divine protection over our servicemen and women who are even now serving in far and distant countries, some familiar to us, others we'll never hear about. Lord, keep them, protect them, and bring them home safely to us. Secondly, we pray for those who even now wear the Purple Heart on their breast. Some have healed from their physical wounds, some have not. Some have healed from their psychological wounds, others have not. Lord, may your healing grace even now touch them. Thirdly, we pray for those whose loved ones never made it home, who hold dear the Purple Heart awarded their loved one, and they cherish it in a special place in their home. Yet they still have a lonely place in their heart for their loss. Dear Lord, heal their wounds also. These prayers we offer in your most holy and precious name. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now I'd like to invite Kim Allison, American Gold Star Mothers, will read the Soldier's Battle Prayer.
Good evening. The Soldier's Prayer. Dear Lord, I am just a soldier, protector of our land, a servant called to battle when my country takes a stand. I pray for strength and courage and a heart that will forgive, for peace and understanding in a world for all to live. My family's prayers are with me, no matter where I roam. Please listen when I'm lonely and return me safely home.
Thank you, Kim. Everyone could please be seated. Now it's my honor to introduce the Honorable Mayor of the City of Dunedin, Mayor Julie Ward-Bajowski. She will be reading the proclamation with the City Commission and also introducing some of our special guests here this evening. Mayor Bajowski.
This is always such a great day to celebrate, but it's also kind of sad in a way when you know that folks have been injured and given their lives for us. I have to Excuse me for a minute, I'm trying to see my screen. So I'm so proud and honored to see the wonderful faces here year after year and some of the new ones, especially all of our veterans. Let's give them another round of applause. We are here today to honor Purple Heart Day. And for those of you who don't know, the Order of the Purple Heart happens to be the oldest military decoration of merit. It is awarded to members of the U.S. Armed Services who have been killed or wounded in action against an enemy, or for our soldiers who have suffered maltreatment as prisoners of war. These recipients are the soldiers who have given the greatest sacrifices to us as individuals and as a country. And their commitment to our country deserves our passion and our respect. So with those of you who are Purple Heart recipients or family members honoring those recipients, please stand if you are able so that we may applaud you. Thank you so very much. And what appropriate setting for this celebration, Dunedin's very own Purple Heart Park. The celebration started with one man, Danny Souter, who approached our former mayor, Dave Eggers, and said, "We need to honor our own." City officials and local veterans organizations said, "How can we help?" And then the Kokolakis family stepped in and donated this beautiful piece of property. So thank you to all who worked so hard to bring this to our community and to help us celebrate our services members. So I'd like to invite our entire commission up to read our 2017 Purple Heart Proclamation. Allow me to introduce them. Vice Mayor Deborah Kynes and Commissioners Heather Gracie and John Lunga. And on behalf of Commissioner Mo Freeney, she sends her deepest regrets for not being able to be here today due to a family illness. I'd also like to invite Mr. Mal Klingham and Mr. Mark Brill from the Military Order of the Purple Heart, JFK Chapter 1963, to accept our proclamations. So y'all can just stand right there. Okay.
Whereas August 7, 2017 marks the 235th anniversary of the inception of the Purple Heart Award and the 85th anniversary of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. And whereas August 7th has been officially designated as National Purple Heart Recognition Day, in honor of those American veterans who have earned the military tribute by virtue of their bravery and their sacrifice. And
whereas the Purple Heart is specifically awarded to any member of the United States Armed Forces that has been wounded or killed in combat with a declared enemy of the United States. And whereas throughout history, brave and patriotic individuals have answered the call of duty and nobly engaged in the fight to eliminate the oppressive forces of tyranny that have threatened our freedom. And
whereas on this 10th anniversary of the City of Dunedin being congressionally recognized as a Purple Heart City, the city will commemorate the sacrifices of our nation's men and women in uniform at a ceremony in Purple Heart Park on the corner of Main Street and Broadway at 6:30 p.m. on Monday, August 7, 2017.
Now therefore, I, Julie Ward Bajalski, by the power vested in me for the City of Dunedin, and on behalf of the entire City Commission, do proudly proclaim Monday, August 7th, 2017 as Purple Heart Recognition Day in Dunedin, and ask that we pause to remember those extraordinary men and women and their families who made the ultimate sacrifice to preserve our freedom, and to those who were willing to make the ultimate sacrifice to pray for the safety of all those defending our nation today. Now I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce some of the other local dignitaries besides our veterans that we have in attendance today. We have Deputy District Director Michael Semina for Congressman Gus Bilirakis. Tracy Cadell, Legislative Assistant for Senator Jack Latvala. Janine Correa, Legislative Assistant for Representative Chris Latvala. Pinellas County Commissioner Pat Gerard. Mayor George Gretikos, City of Clearwater, and his wife Carolyn. Mayor Wanda Dudley, the town of Kenneth City. Mayor Doug Beavis, the City of Oldsmar. Doug Hutchins, our interim city manager, and our city attorney, Tom Trask. And now I'd like to invite one of the original folks that worked hard towards establishing this very park, former mayor and current Pinellas County Commissioner, Dave Eggers. Not only did Dave Eggers work on recognizing Purple Heart Day in Dunedin, he's taken the same passion for our veterans to the county. And I'm proud to say that Pinellas County is an official Purple Heart County. So congratulations to you and your colleagues for this wonderful recognition.
Well, good evening, everybody. One second, if you don't mind. It's a little personal privilege tonight. First of all, I'm just so overwhelmed by the number of folks that are here tonight. But really, should I be? This county, this city, and cities across this county have made veterans the centerpiece of their community. So I'm really not surprised. It's just great to have all of you out here. When I was the mayor here, we used to do it in the morning and really sweat. So after I left, they got a little smart and decided to do it in the evening. So I think it's perfect as long as those things stay away from us today. Tonight's about kids that are here tonight, the NJROTC. I call them kids because they're under 18. The wonderful Star Spangled Banner. The mention of Danny Souter earlier. And all of the other folks that are here that making tonight extremely special. On a personal note, like many of you, I've lost my father this past Thursday. We often talked about his 2 years in the service and how he said that he really wasn't a veteran. There were so many others that did so many more impressive and wonderful things. But I found over the years that every veteran I talk to defers to somebody else. So if I talk to a veteran who's actually served in combat, they talk about folks that actually engaged the enemy. And the people who engaged the enemy, it's somebody who got hurt. Somebody who got hurt, it's somebody who was killed. It's a humble group. And I'm just so proud to know every single one of you that I've had the opportunity to meet. And my dad and I talked a lot about his service, and he really was just a stateside sergeant in Cherry Point, North Carolina. But he really admired the Purple Heart recipients. and was so proud when this city embraced it. Cities like Oldsmar has done it as well. So I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you for their service, for every single one of you willing to take the ultimate sacrifice, or potentially taking the ultimate sacrifice. And to the families who had those people, had those brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers that served. To have the Allison family here tonight is a real honor. He's one of our own that grew up right here and went to high school at Dunedin High School. We lost him. They lost him. And this community just welcomed them, welcomed him home, like many across this country have done. So this country is just incredible, and it's because of you. It is because of each and every one of you that really makes this country different and special. There was mention a minute ago that the Pinellas County has now become a Purple Heart County, and on behalf of the entire County Commission, we're extremely proud to have done that. Michael Hill's here tonight, and a lot of the community out there that really made it happen. The state also embraced the idea, the city of Clearwater County approved the idea of making State Road 60, Gulf to Bay, overlaid with the Purple Heart Trail. So from county line all the way to Mandalay will now be known as the Purple Heart Trail. And there'll be some special signage at the Crest Lake Memorial Park in downtown Clearwater. So whether it's at the federal level, state level, our county level, and cities across this county, we put you first. We never forget all the things that you've done for us. I just hope we continue to embrace taking care of each and every one of you when you come home. There's so many things that go on that people like myself would never understand. So whether it's physical, emotional, mental issues that come up, I pray that we continue to do more and more for each and every one of you. So with that said, again, congratulations to each and every one of you. We did a Purple Heart proclamation as well, and it's kind of long and lengthy, and I already feel a little rain coming, so I'm going to shorten that up a little bit. But I want to say to these gentlemen behind me, they came down for a ceremony last week, and thank you for being there. Wish we'd had a little bit more time to do it a little better, but it was awesome to have you and everything that you all represent. God bless you, and here's a proclamation from the county to each one of you.
Thank you, Commissioner Eggers and Mayor Bajowski. The next speaker I want to introduce is Scott Daniels. He's one of our committee members, and he got involved because of his dad, who received a Purple Heart in World War II. So without further ado, I'm going to ask Scott to come up and introduce our keynote speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct pleasure to introduce you to a Purple Heart recipient, Michael Jernigan, here this day to speak to you as our keynote speaker. Michael Jernigan is a proud third-generation Marine who has followed in the footsteps of his father and his grandfather, who were also Marines. Michael graduated from the University of South Florida, and he actually went to St. Petersburg High School. Local boy done well. Michael enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 2002. On August 22, 2004, Michael was serving our nation in Iraq when his life changed forever. His patrol and the vehicle in which he was traveling was hit by an IED, improvised explosive device. His injuries were major, including a loss of vision in both of his eyes. Michael is the first service member in our country to lose both his eyes in the global war on terror. But Michael Jernigan did not let his massive physical injuries deter him from his commitment to his country and to the brave men and women who serve our nation. Michael's greatest challenge after his intensive rehabilitation and his return home was to learn how to live independently and live without his vision. Michael shares his remarkable story in a book that he authored called Vision, Developing Strength and Success in the Face of Adversity. Michael motivates and inspires others with a gift that includes the concepts of honor, courage, commitment. Michael is also co-founder of Paws for Patriots at the nationally acclaimed Southeast Guide Dog Organization. Today's 10th anniversary celebration will be memorable for each of us today, and I know that Michael Jernigan's presentation will be a highlight of today's celebration where we honor all of our Purple Heart recipients. Please welcome our hometown hero, Michael Jernigan.
Thank you very much. Are my Marines here? If it ain't raining, we ain't training, right? Thank you very much for the introduction. I am a Purple Heart recipient. On August 22nd, 2004, in Mamadi, Iraq, my life changed quite drastically. I'm a resident of Pinellas County. I graduated from St. Pete High. I graduated from St. Pete High 50 years after my grandfather did, who was also a Purple Heart recipient. When I think about my medal, I think about it before I got it and after I got it. When I was a child and I learned that my grandfather had 3 Purple Hearts, I thought that that was amazing. I thought it was an amazing feat for my grandfather to survive 3 incidents where he received the Purple Heart. When I was in combat, we jokingly called it the enemy marksmanship badge, and nobody wanted it, as you can imagine. After I got it, I realized its true symbol, what it represents. And in my opinion, this medal represents the sacrifice of young men and women who answer a call of duty. We honor our flag, we honor our country, we honor its government, we honor our citizens. We do that with selfless sacrifice in military service. I remember when it was time for me to get my life on track. I was 23 years old, a junior college dropout. I had 4.5 freshman years at SPJC. I barely graduated from high school. Like, there's a reason I joined the Marine Corps, you know. And I think it's algebra, actually. But I enlisted on my 24th birthday, and my father was the officer that swore me in. It was quite an honor. When I went into the Marine Corps, I found a community that I didn't know existed. I knew the Marine Corps existed, but I didn't know how great life could be in it. What the Corps gave me was a lot more than I gave the Corps. I was only active duty 22 months when I got whacked. 6 months of that was in training. That leaves 16 other months. I got a lifetime out of them. A lifetime of knowledge, a lifetime of training, a lifetime of character traits that make me a leader in the community, that make me identify with those fellow Marines around me. It gives me that esprit de corps. It makes me watch my integrity. It makes me live an honorable life. When I said the oath, I don't remember it having an end date. My contract had an end date, but my oath did not. I got wounded pretty badly. I had 45% of my cranium crushed in. My whole head, where this hand is, an acrylic plate. Both my eyes removed. Right hand reconstructed, left knee reconstructed. I did 30 major surgeries in 12 months. I flatlined during 3 of them. And I spent 16 months in hospitals and rehab facilities before I got medically retired from the Marine Corps. But at the end of the day, I joined to serve. I stumbled. I got to a point in 2006, after I got medically retired, that I was putting down a 5th of Johnny Walker Black Label a day. And then I came to the same conclusion I had come to back when I was 23. And that's that I had no purpose in life. I realized that I was a Marine. I'm still a Marine. But I no longer had a mission. I no longer had direction and purpose that a mission brings. And I made it my mission to find that mission. I went back to college. I graduated from college, amazingly. Thank you. It really is amazing how the Marine Corps can make you a much more disciplined student, by the way. Turns out the secret to doing well in school is actually showing up to class. But besides the point, I moved forward. I went to work for Southeastern Guide Dogs. I went into the nonprofit world. I've since wrote a book. I've since branched out on my own, became a public speaker. I'm living a dream. I'm living a vision that I had when I was laying in the hospital bed and I still didn't know what blindness meant. I was scared. I was as scared as I ever was in combat. I had a mentor that took me under his wing, pushed me towards formal education, became my mentor. I got involved with my community service. Those are the three pillars I found for success in my life after being wounded. Formal education, mentorship, and community service. This medal, it's a piece of ribbon and a piece of metal with George Washington's face on it. It symbolizes the blood that I lost in Iraq, the eyes that I lost in Iraq. I had 22 pints of blood transfused into me in the first few days. It's a lot of blood loss. When I look at this medal now, I think of that man that stood tall, in full battle rattle. It took the fight to the enemy. I remember what that man was. I remember what he stood for, and I remember what he believed in. And I'm happy to say, this medal hasn't changed me. I'm still that man. I just have to take my fight in a different way. My mission parameters have changed, and my mission is still to my country and my community, but it's just different. I'm proud to wear my Purple Heart. I'm proud to be a member of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. I joined when I was in the hospital. I'm proud because I have one of the same medals my grandfather did. And I know that he looks down on me and he sees what he knew I should have seen in that medal when I was a child. It is disheartening to me when I see young men and women that are Purple Heart recipients that aren't proud of what they did, that aren't proud of their sacrifice. Some see it as a burden. Some see it as a disability. But what it is, it's an opportunity to change your life. It's an opportunity to still serve. It's an opportunity to go on a positive trajectory. That's how I view the medal now. The medal was my opportunity. The Marine Corps was my training. It's up to me to implement my mission and continue my direction and my purpose. So I want to say thank you to everyone here. Pinellas County, my home county, is a Purple Heart county. We respect our veterans. We respect their service. We respect their sacrifice. So thank you very much for coming out. Thank you for supporting this organization. Thank you for supporting this park. Thank you for recognizing us for our sacrifice to America.
Thank you, Michael, for that inspiration. Thank you again. Now I'm going to invite up the Disabled American Veterans Auxiliary Unit 11, Clearwater, to read the Purple Heart poem.
Each Purple Heart shall always be a part of freedom's history. Hold deep inside a fervent pride for all who gave, the brave who died. They showed their best for liberty. They stood for us with certainty. Their wound of war, their Purple Heart, each dare to care and do their part. Some bore a wound which took their life, while others lived past war's honed knife. True patriots, they faced their call to keep our nation strong for all. Deep scars of war are carried by those who return and those who cry. Pray for the brave, their loved ones too. Thank God for heroes, all of you.
Thank you for that beautiful poem. Thank you, ladies. Pinellas County Sheriff Office Honor Guard will now perform the rifle salute, followed by Craig Gross, who will sing They Buried My Son in Arlington, and then the playing of taps by Pasco County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard Lieutenant Jason Marquise, followed by Amazing Grace.
Just bear with me for 1 minute. Didn't expect it to rain, but if I didn't get this stuff out of the rain, I probably wouldn't have to come back next year because my wife won't let me buy a new guitar. I wrote this song about my son. It's been said, all gave some gave all. But some, many, are still giving. My son was a soldier. He wanted to be like men who I've met through the Purple Heart Association. He wanted to be like Mark Brill, Frank Chicola. He wanted to be like Mike Jernigan and Mel. And I'm leaving out a lot of other names of all you guys out here. Trust me. But you can't turn the clock back. He was buried in Arlington with military honors, full military honors, and about 3 months after he was buried in Arlington, I wrote this song, They Buried My Son in Arlington. I remember soldiers at my door. Said your son won't be here anymore. I never knew how much I'd miss my son until they buried him in Arlington. 'Cause there's many a hero buried there. Flags are waving in the air. I thank God all America cares that my son is buried there. Soldiers brave, they fought the fight of faith, and now they're resting in their resting place. They're all together with my son, the soldier they buried up in Arlington. I remember the good times every day. Baseball, fishing, and the games we played. I'm still a-grieving by my son, the soldier they buried up in Arlington. Now he's in heaven, standing at the gate. His mom and I, we just can't wait. We'll be together with our son, the soldier they buried up in Arlington. 'Cause there's many a hero buried there. Flags are waving in the air. I thank God all America cares. That our sons are buried there. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Dunedin City Pipe Band, for that amazing grace. How beautiful. Josh Bayless, J.C. Curry, Madison Poth from the City of Dunedin Pipe Band. Let's give him a round of applause, along with Greg Rhodes for the beautiful song that he wrote, Pinellas County Sheriff Office Honor Guard, Rifle Salute, and Lieutenant Marquise for the playing of taps. Please be seated. I just have a few closing comments and a few announcements I'd like to make. First of all, in closing, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank those who assisted this evening's program and our loyal committee members throughout the year. First of all, the Purple Heart Committee, I'd like them to stand. Mal Klingon, with the Military Order of the Purple Heart. Thank you for all your help. Mark Rill, Military Order of the Purple Heart. Thank you, Mark. We couldn't do it without both of you. Scott Daniels, local realtor and committee member. And thank you for introducing our keynote speaker this evening. Pat Miles, BJ Starr, please stand. Shirley Kirkland, Brenda Nielsen, and also Lieutenant Rob Turner from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, Pat, BJ, Shirley, and Brenda, all with the Disabled American Veteran Association, Unit 11. Also, I'd like to thank Captain James Fasinelli, I got it right that time, James, and also Jerry Bates with NJROTC, Dunedin High School, and thank you, Dunedin High School, for your participation in this evening's program. Also on the Parks and Recreation staff, our Recreation Superintendent, Terry Trudell. Terry, come up and take a wave somewhere. Terry's in the north part of the park by our Parks and Recreation table. Jory Peterson, our Special Events Coordinator, got really involved in it, did the decorations, did a lot of the coordination for tonight's program, lined up the speakers, and Carol Karp, who's our Administrative Assistant and on vacation this week. Also, there's one other person I'd like to recognize who's not here this evening. I would especially like to recognize Father Bob Schwick, who has been an integral part of our committee for the last 9 years. You all know Bob. Father Bob is recuperating at home after being at Bay Pines Veterans Hospital and rehab for nearly a month from injuries he sustained in a serious car accident in June. Otherwise, I know he would be here with us this evening. Please keep him in your thoughts and prayers as we wish him a full, speedy recovery. And I did speak to him today, and he did write me this little note that I'm going to pass on. And he writes, my apologies for not being up to the attending tonight's Military Order of the Purple Heart Recognition Day, especially at our Chapter JFK 1963 10th anniversary. If you would care to attribute a greeting, and I do, simply express my desire that. And he wrote, we recognize we are all kids of God, not children, but kids. And a fond memory of all kids is that of playing in the sandbox where new kids were always welcomed. So as adult kids, let's remember kindness with sharing of smiles and prayers for peace. Amen. Father Bob. Also, a few additional thank yous. We have from our Parks Division this evening, Billy Tromley and Dalton Martin, who take care of this beautiful park. So let's give them a hand. Again, Carol, Jory, and Terry, Monica, who is at our table selling bricks this evening, if you're interested at the end of the event. And I also want to give recognition to Courtney King, Justin, Greg, Seth, for all they do for Dunedin TV. And I'm sure in the next few days you'll be seeing the trailer as well as the full event on Dunedin TV. Thank you, Courtney. And just a few announcements. As I mentioned, we are selling bricks in honor of our Purple Heart recipients. So please stop by the Parks and Recreation staff at one of the tables on the north end of the park for more information. We also have the Quilts of Valor Foundation here, table representing the Quilts of Valor. It's a national nonprofit organization that makes custom quilts for military service veterans. Please see Ginger regarding this wonderful program, also on the north side of the park. If you notice, we do have some artwork on the east side of the park. Our teen campers from the Martin Luther King Jr. Recreation Center created artwork from what they learned from Mel and Mark about the Military Order of the Purple Heart, which is displayed around the park this evening, but mostly between the palm trees on the east side of the park. Also, Honor Flight is represented here. Honor Flight mission is to take veterans for a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. to pay tribute to their service and sacrifices, show them the memorial built in their honor, and provide them with the welcome home most veterans never received. To date, they have taken over 2,200 World War II Korean and Vietnam veterans to Washington, and our own Commissioner Twonga is one of their volunteers. So thank you, Commissioner Twonga. In addition, I would also like to thank Lynn Wargo, opening up the Chamber of Commerce this evening for the air conditioning and bathrooms, our Dunedin Fire Department, our Pinellas County Sheriff Office, and also a new addition this year, our Cub Scouts, PAC-10, Hour of Light, and their parents for assisting with distribution of programs and water for our ceremony this evening. Now I'd like to call up to the mic Mallory Gobardi will now close our program with the singing of God Bless the USA and America the Beautiful. Mallory is the proud sister of Lance Corporal Brandon Galbardi, Marine Corps veteran, and Sergeant Gerald Galbardi, currently serving in the Marine Corps, and the daughter of former Oldsmar Fire Captain Gerald Galbardi. So with that, Mallory.
Thank you. It's okay, I've done it before. Tomorrow all the things were gone. I've worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Thank you.
Thank you, Mallory. That was beautiful. And under conditions, wow, that was great. And thank you, Doug Hutchin, our interim city manager, for assisting at the podium with the umbrella. Good thinking. Well, that concludes our program for this evening. This is really one of the favorite things I get to do each year, work with the committee and then get up here and MC. So thank you so much. It's so much appreciated that you all could be here this evening. And Color Guard, please retire the colors.
Right, turn, march. Forward, march.
And that concludes our program this evening, and we certainly didn't let our little rain hurt our event. And everyone, have a safe drive home, and God bless.
Oh yeah.